As if you haven't heard enough already from me, I'm going to finish tonight with, I wish my brother was here. This is a story that's not about us. It's really not, but it could be. It's about a guy, it's a true story about someone I don't know. I couldn't have written it if it weren't for New York City, so.
Terrible liar.
It's the first of this collection that I started about a year after I moved here, and I finally recently finished. The story's called Family Can Only. Always measure careful, Nanny would say. Especially when you're baking. Level it off like this, scraping extra flour from the measuring cup with the back of a knife. She dumped it in the mixer. Same with every scoop. Dries first, then the wets. Start slow. She eased the speed up, stirring salt, sugar, and flour with baking powder. From the countertop, I watched her work. Her knotted hands, shaking lips, creased cataract eyes. Wasn't so much the sweets, but her. I loved watching her move, death-like but alive. The little girl I never knew hiding beneath a pile of wrinkled sheets, stained with 90 years of living. She added milk, butter, eggs. The batter thickened around the beater. Every now and again you have to scrape it, she motioned. Like this, down off the edges so it mixes smooth. When we poured it in the pan, I got to lick the mixer, my favorite part. Passing the metal lollipop back and forth between us till we cleaned it. She died last year, and I stopped baking. Happened while I was gone. A trader in the big shitty, only not on Wall Street. I traded her for my future, and she begged me to stay. Out there it's always rain, she said. Can't beat the sun. And she's right. Heat's got a way of setting things. Dough to bread, batter to cake in no time. Now I bake buildings. Mix and pour concrete. Strongest in the world at the new trade center. Great gig. Always wanted to make a mark, now I am. If I ever want to see what I've done, just gotta look up. Bet that's what the last guys thought, I joke and take a drink. We get whiskey at O'Hara's after punching. Place is wallpapered with patches from crews across the country. Makes me think about the recipe, how we've been baking as a nation ever since. Mixed for the sake of something sweeter than we'll ever be. Waiting all our lives to set. We think we're free, but haven't even had a taste. What the hell are you talking about? Tommy asks me after a few. I want to go back to baking. You know, pastry. Someplace fancy. Tommy laughs his last two gulps and Gale tops his glass. Baking? He risks his mouth. I've had your cannoles, Eddie. He's laughing harder. Think you better stick to concrete. Damn near off his stool, he can't stop laughing at me. Cannoli aren't even baked. They're fried and filled. So I hit him. Square in the side of the head. The other hits the bar, cracks wide right there, bleeding hard. I breathe, looking down at him. Gale jumps the well, and I'm gone. That was last month, May, and I haven't been on site since. Put on 30 pounds in 30 days. Cheap shit. Boxed donuts. Crummy crumb cakes. Little Debbie's whole hoard. Good thing I haven't tried going to work because they sure as shit wouldn't let me. People say you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, I'm living proof you can. I wear it thick in my gut, face, and neck. Years pile on in pounds to the point I look like someone else to everyone I know, even me. I'm not negative though. I'm a happy guy. Nanny raised me right. I don't go around hitting people all the time. Tommy's an ass. He's my brother and he asked for it. My cannoli are religious. He knows it, or he wouldn't be the first with his grubby hands in the box when I bring him every Christmas. Like some kind of magical gift, I found a cupcake on the counter by my mixer this morning. Chocolate on chocolate, my favorite. Only I didn't bake or buy it. If it didn't look so good, I'd have called the cops. But I ate it right there. Stuffed my face in one bite. No questions asked. It was the best I've ever eaten. Even had fudge filling, semi-sweet. Spent the rest of the day looking for work. Tommy called, I let it ring. I always let it ring for Tommy. Talking about what happens harder than letting it go. And I have. It's over. C'est la vie, the French mutter into soufflés, crepes, and croissants. Not like cannoli, Nanny'd say. They're Sicilian, and Sicilians don't give up. She broke the shell she was stuffing every time she said it. Not like the French or Italians. Mom was French. I think that's why she hated them. Blamed her for how Tommy turned out, how he wouldn't eat gnocchi, biscotti, or marinara. I hate tomatoes, he'd whine, and she'd smack him in the back of the head. Zatuti! He always gave her a hard time, which made me hate him even more. She was the first girl we fought over, and I won. Every time he tried pouring extra wine when she wasn't looking, I ratted him out. Being the youngest, she believed me. That's my boy, she'd say, topping my glass with enough to make me dizzy. Speaking of which. We baked whenever I came home. Everything under the sun. Nanny tried passing it on to teach me. No one else came close. Meat pies are sweet. She had it. Salt and sugar, fat and acid, the balance of a master. Never measured. Every dash she eyed, every cup by hand, spoonfuls the same. I watched and learned. Got to the point toward the end I had to correct her, even when I didn't know the recipe. You sure that's flour, Nanny? I'd ask her, shaking Arm & Hammer. Of course, she'd say. And if it came out bad, next time, respect the recipe, Eddie. Don't rush and pay more mind. Same thing, every time. As she got worse, I cooked for her. She savored every bite, wiped her mouth after each one, made her drool, and she said it tasted just like her mama's no matter what it was. Had me thinking I could do it, take the reins and raise some kid to love me like I loved her. If only I could find someone to feed me. Truth is, I haven't had a woman since we poured the foundation in '06. Name was Annis. First chick I ever worked a site with. We stayed up some nights bell to bell, talking about the tower, 9/11, and Nanny. Eating. I could do better than this. I'd brag over pastries, and she agreed. So we started baking, me teaching her what I remembered. She caught on quick, but I forgot too much to keep up. That's what brought me home the time Tommy came back with me. He's a real piece of work who can never find Eddie. Jailed a dozen stretches too few, he gets away with everything. Nanny always took him in, but when I got there, he wanted out. Kitchen empty, I could see why. Checked her into a home, and he flew back to live with me in Brooklyn while he found his own place. For work, I got him in at the tower. That's where he met Annis, and it all went to shit. That's it. Everything finds its way back, whatever we put in. There's no hiding. Nanny used to always say, only use the best, and that's what you'll be. Cut corners, and the best you can hope for is to be forgotten. Menage! She damned mistakes in Italian. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Come on, Nanny, it's nothing. I went to throw away the dries. We'll start over. No. Grabbing my wrist, she clenched her dentures. Let's finish. Her hand reached into the bowl, white flour falling through her fingers like sand. We have to taste what happened, what went wrong. So here you go. I got Tommy a job on site. He met Annis, and that was that. They hit it off. I don't blame her. He's a good-looking guy, not like me. Slim, fit, funny. So I started cooking alone. Not really, because Nanny's always there for every measure. That's how I mastered my cannoli. Tommy and Annis had me over for her birthday, and I brought half a dozen. They ate 3 each. Aren't you going to have any? She asked, giggling ricotta on her lips. They're delicious. Yeah, bro, Tommy added. Fuck your diet. It's Annie's birthday. Told him I ate enough already and drank a Diet Coke instead. It's true. I practiced and ate cannoli every night for dinner till the funeral that didn't come for years. Brought 3 dozen, even snuck one in the casket for Nanny. After that, I didn't cook again till I hit Tommy. That's when the mystery sweets started popping up on my counter every morning. Muffins, biscuits, cupcakes, pies, you name it. First I thought they were Tommy's way of apologizing. Now I know they're Nanny getting me back on track. After looking for a month or so after the fight, I got a job at a fancy place on 5th, a real hot spot. Some guy from the Food Channel owns it, but he's never there. I help out the pastry chef, mixing and pouring concrete soufflés. He keeps saying he wants my cannoli on the menu, so I bring him in a couple days a week. He gives me notes I ignore, but says they're getting better every time. You gotta work on the cream, he told me last. The ricotta, it's over-whipped. You want a little more body. Guess he would know. He's even bigger than me. A couple weeks later, he's got me ordering baking when we're busy. Still on the cannoli, he asks, and I nod. But I'm not. I'm tired of working. Instead, I drink at the bar when I get off, even though the bartender's a dick. Charges me every round, despite the desserts I slip him. Bastard reminds me of Tommy. Eyes beady, smile snaking when he gives me the bill. Speak of the devil, he came in last night. Some guy's proposing, Chef told me at the start of the shift. Wants us to put this in a cannoli. He showed me a diamond ring as big as him. Think you got this? I told him yeah, and sure enough, it was Tommy. Saw him walking up to make sure everything was proper with his little plan, and I knew it. I'll be damned, he screamed when he saw me, looking over his shoulder to see if Annis heard. I've been trying to reach you, he put his hand out. No hard feelings. I eyed my gloves, then back at him. Look, I continued. Look, he continued. I'm asking Annie to marry me, and I want you to be my best man. It would mean a lot to both of us. Mixing the filling, I pictured the bleach in the back. Fuck you, I told him. He just stared, slack-jawed. Mine tightened. Your ring's fine. I got it. It'll be in the cannoli. My cannoli. The ones you don't like, remember? He rapped the counter, smiling that fucking smile, and walked away. Half an hour later, I saw him hit his knee from across the restaurant. Everyone started clapping and they kissed. He and Annis. They came up after dinner to say thank you. Your cannoli were amazing, she told me. And the ring, I had no idea. I wish she choked. Yeah, bro, the cannoli was awesome, Tommy added, hands spread across her ass. Packing up at the end of the night, the bartender starts in, barking. Where's my eggs? Where are my goddamn eggs? He makes pussy-ass drinks with egg whites and always throws the same fit. I could give them to him, but not tonight. Check back tomorrow, I tell him. Eggs are 86th. What the hell are you talking about, lard ass? I'm a fucking manager here. Not mine. He already left. Eggs are 86th. That's when he grabs my apron, and I hit him. Hard. Cut my knuckles on his teeth. Break my ring finger on his nose. I can't stop. Takes half the kitchen to pull me off. By then, his face is meatball marinara. When Tommy and I fought like that growing up, Nanny made us cook dinner. If you can fight together, you can work together, she'd say. Turns out she was wrong. Back at home, hand wrapped and iced, I'm looking through the want ads. Gotta find another job, someplace else. 3 months without rent means back to the streets. Thinking about it makes me hungry. And another mystery treat's been sitting by my mixer since I got back from the precinct. This time cannoli, like a bad joke. The smell in the room makes me misty. Sweet like Nanny's, till I can't take it. By the time I have a bite, I'm blubbering like a baby. Now, she used to say. We all make mistakes. I cried whenever she scorned me. Once when I oversalted the filling. Oh no, she spat her mouthful out. This is awful, Eddie. Just awful. What's wrong, Nanny? I asked. You put too much salt. Here, she fed me a bite. Can you taste it? It's awful. That's the first time she told me what I did was wrong. I was 8, just after Mom left, and I didn't go in the kitchen for a month. When I did, it was to help bake a cake for Tommy's birthday. He was turning 10, and she threatened to take away dessert for a year if I didn't. We all make mistakes, she told me. But you're brothers. You have to learn to accept each other. She poured the batter in the pan. Like this. We're eggs, flour, and sugar, the 3 of us. Family, blended to bake. Opening the oven, she finished. Rise or fall, we're always together, even if we get burned. Alone at the table with an empty plate, I put my fork down, swallow hard, pick up the phone and call Tommy. Thank you guys so much. Here across the street. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. A lot of fun.
Awesome. Beautiful boy.